Come with us on a journey into the unknown, the unexplained, and the unbelievable. We will test your senses and challenge your beliefs. A world where science and religion clash. Or do they? You will meet real people and hear real stories, but you will not believe. You will witness strange sights and hear strange sounds, but you will not believe. This is the New England Ghost Project. Welcome to the nightmare.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a late edition of Ghost Chronicles Morning Edition. I am Ron Kolek.
We're a little late, not terribly late.
And with me, the Professor Lou Blasi. See a little profile I put on you up on Patreon?
I did.
Right. Patreon's cool because we put stuff on there you can't see nowhere else.
Right.
Which is really, really cool.
For a reasonable subscription, to Ghost Chronicles Radio on Patreon.
Yes.
Get some premium content.
$3. That's what it is. $3. We don't hide things. We tell them.
Yeah, we tell all kinds of stories about Ron.
Yeah. I published the Japanese thing on there. The Japanese came over a few years ago.
Yep.
Now. I think it's 6 years. And
I saw the pictures. Was that your memory or was that?
Yeah, it was my memory. Yeah, it was
Maureen's. Yeah.
popped up.
Yeah.
And yeah, she don't take pictures. I can't even take her picture. Every time she goes,
She's busy.
No, she will only take pictures of it. She thinks like, oh, it's like, whatever. You are who you are. Well, I try to hide it. Like all these people, they go up and they glamour shot their pictures on Facebook and everything else, you know.
She's a lovely woman on top of that too. So
whatever. I don't know. She's a woman. You don't have to say anything else other than
the picture's usually next to you. So
yeah, whatever. Anyway, I want to congratulate Tom Brady and his new team with his win in the Super Bowl. If he put that same effort into New England the past 2 years, we might have got another one with you over here. But hey, good luck to you.
Yes,
You're a good guy, and God bless you. And moving on.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that done?
I guess that's done.
All right. So my next thing. When did we become so stupid?
Well, I've got it pegged at 2006, but that's
2006.
Yeah.
Okay.
When the Democrats took control of Congress during the second Bush administration,
I
that's
don't know.
when we lost our minds.
I think we were losing our minds way before that.
We started to, yes, absolutely.
It's this, I don't know. Maybe the 60s did it. I don't know. Maybe we just blew our minds.
60s. Yeah, sure.
I don't know. You know, maybe a long-term effect of it.
We slipped a few feet on the rope in the 60s. There's no doubt about that.
I have no clue what happened, but, you know, all right. So here's the thing now. When you have a kid, it's kind of a big thing, right?
You would think.
I
think so.
And to me, it's a very wondrous thing. It's a personal, it's a spiritual thing, really.
Absolutely.
I believe, right?
It's as spiritual as it gets.
Yeah, and now people have made it into this weird, I don't know what the hell it is. We got to have these gender reveal parties, right?
That's your problem? All the things going on with gender reveal parties are your problem?
I'm
surprised we can still do that, right? We're not supposed to mention gender anymore.
Well, too bad. I can do whatever I want until they kick me off the air. That's what I say. I don't understand. I mean, it's such a great thing. It's, you know, you want to share it. I think you should share it respectfully.
Come on, Ron. The era we grew up in, any excuse to party. And it's an excuse to party.
But it's stupid. You know, I mean, people use your frickin', well, they don't have any brains. That's as simple as that. Okay, give you an example. Michigan man killed a baby reveal shower when guy fires cannon. It explodes and kills his neighbor.
Oh, my God. He killed his neighbor?
Killed his neighbor.
With a cannon.
Right.
In a gender reveal party.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But that's, you know, it happens all the time. You go on America's...
How would you like to be that kid? When are you going to tell that kid that story?
Yeah.
That a guy died at your gender reveal
party? It might have been
party.
a baby. Yeah. You know, maybe it was a baby shower, but whatever. It was ridiculous. I mean, and, you know, look at grandmother killed inadvertently when made pipe bomb at gender reveal party.
She made a pipe bomb.
Oh, she put a tube, put colored shit in it, put a little gunpowder in it. Well, evidently too much gunpowder, which is the same with the other jerko did.
Why is Granny playing with gunpowder anyway?
Because, well, you can. It's Granny. Granny can be any age now.
Yeah,
Granny's the new 50s or whatever.
Yeah.
it's different.
Get an M80 and put in a bunch of
No, this
blue or pink glitter
what?
and be done with it.
we laugh at hell. We laugh like crazy at the stupid. Oh, I'm going to get a lot for this. The stupid Muslims who stand around at weddings and stuff and shoot their freaking guns in the air.
Okay.
What goes up comes down. I've seen so many. The best one was the guy that shot out the freaking telephone wire and it came down, hit the middle dance floor, killed 87 people.
Get out.
No.
A guy shot a power line and it hit a dance floor and killed people.
At the wedding.
Oh my God.
When do we lose our common sense? Why do we? People used to laugh at that. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah. Well, this isn't any brighter. This is gunpowder, folks. It isn't freaking toothpaste. All right. Boom.
See, and when I was doing Rogue Radio on
I love
WSTCM.
that title, Rogue Radio.
When I was doing Rogue Radio, David and I would do Yahoo's Odd News.
Yahoo's
like
Odd
a
News.
couple times a week.
That's so weird because I've been thinking about that.
And I'm so out of touch. I missed that story.
Why don't we do that as part of our show?
Yahoo's Odd News?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
Oh, any Odd News.
Yeah.
I don't care. I love weird
Those are my
stuff.
favorite segments.
I love weird stuff. You know that.
Yep.
And as you can tell. But, it's just like, gunpowder. Hello.
Okay.
It's gunpowder. It blows up.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't care how smart you think you are. It's just like,
Wait a second. We played with fireworks and things like that.
I know how to make gun. I made gunpowder when I was a kid.
Yeah, and how many friends do you know have 9 fingers because they did something stupid? I did stupid stuff when I was a kid with fireworks and all kinds of things.
The key word there was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Which is more than one keyword. But kid. We're supposed to be adults. We're supposed to have common sense.
Yeah.
And isn't that what we always say as parents or as your parents said to you growing up? You don't have any common sense. You're not young. You don't have the wisdom.
Right.
We haven't got any wisdom. We never got the damn wisdom.
Oh, common sense is, forget it.
Exactly.
Just get into any
There's
thread.
no such word as common sense.
Get into any thread on Facebook and you see what people believe. And it's like, here's the thing, Ron. And I'm trying to pass this on to people in my life too.
Please do.
Who don't get this. So I'll pass it on to you because you're a spiritual guy and you'll understand this. You can't get sucked into these emotional vortexes about these people.
Of course not. I never do.
Yeah. You just got to kind of
keep your drama.
Listen, there are people out there who think the earth is flat. There are people out there.
That was my next thing.
Yeah. There are people out there who think Obama was a good president. So people will think anything. You can't take on the whole world in terms of just lack of common sense.
Speaking about Obama's president, I still haven't watched evening news yet since what is it, the 19th February?
See, that's a plus.
January 19th.
I don't watch any TV news. It's just ridiculous.
All of it's ridiculous. And now I'm doing my jigsaw puzzles, so I'm in. Yeah,
I'm taking a little vacation. Yep.
Yeah. So
nothing we can do for 2 years, so we'll just see what happens.
So, bad news for the flat earthers.
What happened?
And probably us too, by the way. Do you know 1920 was pretty bad?
Did you see that documentary that? To Jeff Belanger? We talked with Jeff Belanger about the flat Earth documentary.
Yeah, we did.
That's on Netflix. Did you watch it?
Yes, I was the one who brought it up.
Oh, you were the one who brought it up. I thought Jeff brought it up.
Well, Jeff brought it up to me, which I brought it up to you, and then we talked about it when Jeff came on the show.
Yeah.
So full circle.
Okay.
But you learned it from me.
Yes.
Just because I'm not Jeff Belanger, Steve Parsons, or anybody else, I do have words of wisdom and cool stuff in my little brain.
I apologize for misattributing that little nugget of information. But if you haven't seen the flat Earth, bending the curve, rounding the curve.
I have no clue.
It's on Netflix.
You're asking me about names. No,
go watch it. It's good.
It is. It's good. I liked it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, bad news for flat Earth. This last year was pretty weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that the Earth actually spun up faster in 1920?
Yeah, I did have.
In fact, the shortest, I think it was June 20th, was the shortest day ever recorded in the history of Earth.
Wow.
So we may spin too fast. I don't know.
There's variance, though. People don't understand this.
Yeah. I don't know.
This is the whole.
But isn't it apropos actually for 1920? I mean, 1920. 2020.
Wish it were
Yeah.
1920.
No, that was a bad year too. Well, no, flappers and everything. That was fun, right?
This is the whole
What was the
climate change.
crash?
And Flappers was
What was it?
29, 30. 29, 30 was the crash of 31 or 32.
Yeah, so it's just
somewhere in there.
prior to the crash.
Flappers were the 20.
The 20s, yeah. Roaring 20s.
Yeah, the vote, women getting the vote was 1920s.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1920.
Yeah. Burn the bra. That was 60s.
No, that was 60s. That was a different thing. But
Same
this
thing.
is the whole climate
It's all
change in a
one
nutshell.
blur.
And I'm a big fan of, and speaking of common sense, I'm a big
Yes.
fan of Occam's razor, which I'll paraphrase it, which states that all things being equal, the simplest explanation is probably the true one.
Mhm.
Right? So people go on about dog farts and cow farts and SUVs, and we're raising,
Yeah, I know.
we're raising the Earth's temperature and raising the oceans and all that stuff. Meanwhile,
Why don't we just kill the cows?
every year, especially here in New
Steak
England,
until
right?
it runs out.
Every year here in New
I'm
England,
listening.
because the Earth's orientation to the sun changes a little bit, a couple degrees, right? A few degrees from summer to winter.
Yep.
We have 100-degree range in temperature,
Mm.
right? Here in New England.
Sure.
Now, the Earth is circling the sun. It's spinning on its own. Those aren't super perfect every year, every time, every revolution. And in fact, the Earth is chasing the sun, which is chasing the center of the Milky Way. And the fact is our orientation to the sun changes slightly all the time in cycles that can be measured in tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of years that we don't recognize. You don't think that has a bigger effect on the climate than dog farts? I mean,
There you go.
it doesn't make any sense. And again, it's back to what people will believe if
Yeah.
you tell them.
I don't know. People are just.
I mean, we're coming out of an ice age. We're warming. We're in a relatively temperate period in the climate of Earth. We're actually still coming out of an ice age.
Do you remember the summer that wasn't? No, it was the 1800s.
1880. No, I'm just thinking 1883 was the hottest one. But there was right before that. There was a mini ice age.
Yeah, mini ice age in New England.
Yep.
Anyway, cool stuff.
Yep.
I love it.
And
Anyways,
if you'll notice, by the way, you people out there,
you people out there,
When
you
they get-
people, hey, you people.
when they give you temperature charts to show you that the temperature is rising,
Mhm.
notice they never include 1830.
Yeah, that's of
It always starts after 1830.
course it does.
Because if they included 1830, you'd see a drop in the temperature over that time period.
It is what it is.
Mhm.
That's what I always say.
Yep.
Moving on.
Yes.
All right. So, you ever open your email box and get emails, people asking you for stuff or telling you to click on this?
Sure.
Your
All the time.
order has been shipped. Click on this and see where it is.
All the time.
We have suspended your account. You got to click on this to see it, right?
Yep.
I mean, everybody's trying to dupe you, right?
Yes.
So, do you ever hear of the Keeley Motor Company?
Kiwi?
Keeley.
Oh, Keeley.
Keeley Motor Company.
Motor company.
Yes.
Someone makes cars? No, never heard of it.
No, never heard of it, huh?
Nope.
It's a shame. It was a big company for a time. Keeley Motor Company. They actually,
What was this time?
well, I'll get to that in
Okay.
a second.
Yep.
They actually invented a new engine that ran on, are you ready for it?
Okay.
The Force.
The Force.
The Force.
In Star Wars, as in Star Wars, the Force?
As in Star Wars.
Cool.
So John Worley Keeley, 1837 to 1898 of Philadelphia.
This is pre-Star Wars.
That's
He was
right.
ahead of his time.
He was way ahead of his time.
His family should sue
Good
George
thinking.
Lucas.
Except I'm sure they've been sued up the gazebo.
Yeah.
He was a carpenter, mechanic, and inventor who announced in 1872 that he had discovered a new principle for power production. The vibrations of a simple tuning fork had given him the idea, and he mean to tap into that energy. And so he actually built this motor that ran on the Force.
Mhm.
So let's go on a little bit more. Keeley persuaded a dozen engineers and capitalists to invest in the idea, forming the Keeling Motor Company in New York in 1872. Soon he had capital of $1 million in the 1800s. That's a lot of money, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
And $1 million in 1820? It's a crap load of money.
1872.
1872.
No, we give the facts here. We don't make them up. He
How do you
used the
spell Keeling?
Keeley.
Oh.
John Rural Keeley.
Spell it.
Keee. Keeley.
Oh, why?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Do you know why? You know why they call it the Kiwi birds?
No.
Huh? You know where the Kiwi birds are, right? They were down in the south, right? So the Kiwi birds, right?
Yeah.
They got their name because one day they were somebody discovered them, and he said, "Oh, what are those?" And the bird slid on the ice, and the bird said, "Kiwi ice, it's gold."
Oh, it was a long way to go for that.
That was very bad.
was
That's
a
like, remember my
Long way to go for that.
my father-in-law, God bless his soul, used to tell me all these stupid jokes. You remember the one from How Do You Catch a Polar Bear?
No.
You remember that one? I remember that from grammar school.
No, tell me. Maybe I don't remember it.
You dig a pit in the snow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, and you put a pea in it, and then when the when the polar bear goes to take a pee, you kick him in the hole.
I got a better one for you that I can't tell you on the air.
You can tell me.
No, I can't.
Yes, it's not like real radio.
Not good.
Not like real radio. Okay, thanks, Pat. Pat says that. Did I just hear
Oh,
that
no,
on my
actually-
station here?
Oh, no, actually, I heard it on TikTok. So,
So there you go.
no, I'll tell you after.
No, all right. So we're going. Anyways, back to Keeley as I digressed it all over the place on that one. So we used the money to buy materials necessary for building a motor-based. Oh, you got his picture. Oh, you're on the same page I am.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, because that's the best one. You could go to Wikipedia, but you know what I think of Wikipedia.
Lockhaven Edu.
So you want to read this or?
Okay.
Actually, before we do, so we wiggle down the page, and you'll see. There we go. We shows. There we go. Keeley and his board of directors of the Keeley Motor Company. This is the Keeley engine.
Very nice.
Isn't that pretty cool?
Yep.
And it worked. You know, he brought people in and showed it to them, and it really worked. You dump a little water in the thing, and it'll go, and it was pretty cool. In fact, there's a museum that has a photographic print of the museum. That's the only of the motor. That's the only thing that they have. So this is probably one of them. Anyways, carry on.
Where did you leave off?
Someplace. You know, he invested money. Soon he constructed.
Okay. Soon he had constructed an etheric generator,
Etheric. I love that.
which he demonstrated to an amazed audiences in 1874 in Philadelphia. Keeley blew into a nozzle for half a minute, then poured 5 gallons of tap water into the same nozzle. And after some fine adjustments, the pressure gauge indicated pressures of 10,000 pounds per square inch. This, said Keeley, was evidence that the water had been disintegrated and a mysterious vapor had been liberated in the generator capable of powering machinery. One inspector at a Keeley demonstration described the power of the machine. Great ropes were torn apart, iron bars broken in two or twisted out of shape, bullets discharged through 12-inch planks by a force which could not be determined. It was the force.
It was the force.
Keeley predicted his discovery would make other forms of power obsolete. A quart of water would be enough to send a train from Philadelphia to San Francisco and back. A gallon would propel a steamship from New York to Liverpool and back. A bucket of water has enough of this vapor to produce power sufficient to move the world out of its course.
Well, that's what happened last year.
Maybe, right? Someone had an etheric engine built there. Keeley lived comfortably as befitted the president of the company, but not extravagantly. To his credit, he plowed most of the invested money into research equipment and tools. He did most of the experimentation himself, designing and constructing his own apparatus. He was not willing to entrust his secret to those who could not or would not understand, especially physicists and engineers. Who needs them?
They wouldn't understand.
Who needs them? They don't understand.
They don't think out of the box. That's the problem.
Skeptics noted that the equipment could never be made to work as it was supposed to unless Keeley was present. It's an interesting observation.
Well, because he was the source of the force.
The work went slowly. To keep the spirits of the stockholders, Keeley staged occasional public demonstrations. These were masterpieces of showmanship. He demonstrated a marvelous machine, a vibratory engine, a hydro-pneumatic pulsating vacuum engine. It was the work of a machinist's art made of gleaming brass and copper. The engine was attached to another machine called the Liberator, a complex array of brass wires, tubes, and tuning forks. Maybe there's a look at it up there.
Pretty cool, huh?
Keeley explained that he was tapping a quote unquote latent force of nature, the vibratory energy of the ether.
See, latent force.
We can blame that idea on physicists, it has in brackets for some unknown reason. Keeley was often known...
You can blame physicists for everything.
Yeah.
Quantum physics. Just stop right there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, see, all bets are off once you're into quantum physics,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Yeah.
According to them.
Not that I disbelieve quantum physics.
Not that I believe it either.
Not that I believe it.
I mean, let's see, not that I believe that everything's attributed to it is true.
Right. But quantum force is not, quantum physics is not.
No, right
this.
along.
It's not latent,
No.
not latent force. Keeley often used a harmonica, violin, flute, zither, or pitch pipe to activate his machines. Some said it was worth the price of being duped to hear the eloquent language Keeley used to explain his theory. Keeley was said to have considerable musical knowledge and talent. Skeptics suggested that these musical tones were a signal to a hidden confederate to activate the secret trickery and mechanism that made the miracles happen. Confederate. I love that.
Can't say that nowadays.
Sure you can.
No, you can't.
Uh,
It's not PC correct.
the central idea of Keeley's theory of nature
we
was...
no longer call them Confederates.
No, we can call them
No, you can't.
because that's exactly what they were, plotters.
They're
right?
pro-slavers.
Yeah.
So you can't say pro-slave.
That's true. The central idea of Keeley's theory of nature was the notion that musical tones could resonate with atoms or with ether itself.
There you go.
He even drew his musical chart. He even drew this musical chart to help people understand the finer points of this theory. Yeah, this is very explanatory right here. Let's see if I can explain.
I can see it clearly.
Look at those notes there.
You will give me money. You will, go pulsates. You will give me money. You will give me money.
Looks like the tab.
We should put that on Patreon. Will give me. Yeah.
Looks like the tab for a Meatloaf song is what it looks like.
I love meatloaf.
I love Meatloaf too.
Yeah.
I saw him in Boston at the.
Did you?
He was at a car show down
He
there.
was in Rocky Horror, right?
He was in Rocky Horror. That's
Yeah.
right. Yep.
Would you give the rose?
Huge baseball fan, by the way.
Is he?
And fantasy baseball,
Give
yes.
the rose.
He even
to the
drew this
man
musical
who
chart
took
to
me
help
through.
people understand the finer points of this theory. There were those today who use this as evidence Keeley was far ahead of his time anticipating the theory of quantum mechanics.
See?
The theory of quantum mechanics doesn't state that you can activate atoms with a zither. I'm
Oh,
willing to bet.
I don't know.
Biographers
Some
have
people
described
contributed to it.
Biographers have described Keeley as a mechanical experimenter, an inventor, an imposter, a professor of perfidy,
Ooh, I like that.
a swindler, a scandalous scamp.
Oh, that's kind of mean.
Yeah. Keeley's lack of formal scientific education didn't bother his supporters and didn't deter Keeley himself from grandly proclaiming his theories as scientific. See, Keeley would be a climate change guy now.
I don't know.
He'd be Al Gore. He's Al
I
Gore.
don't know. No. I don't know. Unless there was money in for it, he wouldn't.
Well, Al Gore with talent and some intelligence.
Alan Gore invented the internet. Don't you speak badly of him.
Keeley expounded his ideas using an elaborate theory of etheric force spiced with eloquently profound terms such as sympathetic equilibrium,
Oh, God bless you.
quadrupole,
Oh, I'm getting all excited.
negative harmonics, and etheric disintegration.
Ooh, wow. Is that totally
That's what happened to our show last week. It was etheric
Lyrical
disintegration.
Yeah.
His backers were duly impressed. He looked with condescending pity on those who appeared not to understand. Again, like Al Gore.
Mm-hmm.
Some disillusioned stockholders withdrew their support as Keeley's experiments suffered repeated delays. Keeley declared he had already proven his theory could be implemented for useful purposes, and he made his vast claims for economic benefits of etheric energy over coal and other energy sources. But today he'd get a grant.
Probably.
He'd get a government grant, right?
Get the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Government bailout, probably. But he resisted
At least from
investors.
Pelosi.
But he resisted investors' demands that he produce some marketable product. Stockholders were not happy with Keeley's insistence that more experimentation was needed to, quote, perfect the machines. Fortunately, when nearing bankruptcy, Keeley acquired a wealthy backer, Ms. Clara S.J. Bloomfield Moore, the widow of a Philadelphia paper manufacturer. She advanced him more than $100,000 for expenses and promised him a salary of $2,500 per month. That'd be good money today.
Yeah, that's good money back then.
Yeah. She
Real
became active in promoting Keely in journals and books and seeking scientists who might validate his claims. She suggested that Keely share his secret with Edison or Tesla to hasten its development, but he refused. He did agree that he refused for Edison because Edison would have stolen it as his idea.
That's for sure.
Yeah. And refused Tesla because Tesla would have found
Edison
out.
did some good work, though. I mean, all right.
He did agree that scientists at least be allowed to observe the demonstrations. Alexander Scott, an electrical engineer, witnessed such a demonstration. When Keely showed him the etheric power causing a weight to rise and fall in a closed flask of water, Scott was unimpressed. Keely used the sound from a zither to activate the global liberator, which then supposedly transmitted the etheric force through the water to the container. One of these deals.
Awesome.
Yeah. Scott suspected the weight was really hollow so that the slightest change of water pressure could cause it to rise or fall, just as a Cartesian diver. The wire, he suggested, was a hollow tube transmitting air pressure to the water chamber. To counter this suggestion, Keely cut a ways into the wire with a file to prove it solid, but more serendipitously picked up a scrap piece of similar wire in a workshop and later found that it did have a very fine hollow center. Other demonstrations showed the etheric force to be great enough to lift large weights. It could be Keely's vaporic gun. It also could fire Keely's vaporic gun demonstrated at Sandy Hook, Long Island.
Yeah. Boom. For gender reveal purposes only.
The Scientific American magazine followed Keely's career with some amazement and amusement. They were not impressed, reporting that all the demonstrations they had witnessed could easily have been produced with hidden sources of compressed air. Keely continued this research for 14 years, occasionally staging demonstrations to placate impatient stockholders. Ms. Moore, who was concerned by Alexander Scott's negative report and by dismissive and unkind articles in newspapers and magazines. So she sought a second opinion from physicist Professor W. Lascelles Scott from England. He spent a month in Philadelphia carrying out his investigation, finally reporting to the Franklin Institute that Keely had demonstrated to me, in a way which is absolutely unquestionable, the existence of a force hitherto unknown. He must have got some of that $2,500, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Since physicist Lascelles Scott and engineer Alexander Scott obviously disagreed, they were brought together to witness more Keely demonstrations. Ms. Moore suggested that the definitive test would be to cut that wire that Scott alleged was really an airline. This time, Keely flatly refused to comply. Lascelles Scott retreated to England, and Ms. Moore, her face shaken, reduced Keely's salary to $250 per month.
Ooh, that hurts.
It does. And that's a 3-ton spear found in the basement of Keely's laboratory.
Yeah, this is where
Are we getting to that?
This is where it gets good.
This is where it gets good. Okay. After Keely died November 18th, 1898, suspicious skeptics and newspaper reporters did a careful examination of his laboratory. Some of Keely's machinery had already been removed by, quote, believers who hoped they could make it work.
Oh, hold a second there.
Yep.
Okay. He died before it was ever produced for,
I imagine.
Yeah, commercial use.
Yep.
So he wouldn't reveal anything. Go ahead, you can carry on. This comes to Boston, by the way.
Now, a Boston electrician, T. Burden Kinraid.
Kinraid?
Says Kinraid here.
I think it's Kincaid. Well, whatever.
Okay. Removed the engine to his home in Jamaica Plains.
See? Massachusetts connection.
It's not Jamaica Plains, is it? It's Jamaica Plain. Isn't it?
You know.
Okay.
Kincaid, Kinraid.
Just wondering. Some of the
write this.
Some of the apparatus ended up in England. No one could make it function as it had in Keely's laboratory. The secret was not in the machine. The secret was in the laboratory building itself. Engineer Alexander Scott and Ms. Moore's son Clarence examined the building, accompanied by press and photographers. False ceilings and floors were ripped up to reveal hidden mechanical belts and linkages to a silent water motor in the basement, 2 floors below the laboratory. A system of pneumatic switches under the floorboards could be used to turn machinery on or off. A 3-ton spear was found in the basement, thought to be a reservoir for compressed air, but which could have been a discarded piece of one of Keely's many abandoned projects. Was it hollow? A 3-ton spear? They didn't say whether it's hollow or not. The walls, ceilings, and even apparently solid beams were found to have hidden pipework. Oh, this guy was committed.
He was good.
He was committed.
You put that money into the building, you can see that right away. The
evidence of fraud on a grand scale was obvious and difficult to dismiss. What's really remarkable is that Ms. Moore had persuaded a number of apparently respectable scientists to observe Keely's demonstrations, and some of them affirmed that they were impressed and even convinced that Keely had made revolutionary scientific discoveries. Why were some so easily duped by Keely's obvious, though very elaborate deceptions, which were correctly guessed by more perceptive and skeptical observers? Of course, it must be stated that Keely never allowed anyone to examine his machines, independently test them, or even look inside of them.
No.
Even today, scam artists promoting energy machines can find at least a few degree-holding engineers or physicists willing to declare publicly that they've found no fraud or deception in the machines and who are convinced that new scientific principles are at work. So much for expert witnesses.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of an editorial comment there.
Science can be bought.
Yeah. Well, that was
as we're finding out more.
That was pretty devious, if you ask me. I don't.
Yeah. What, the comment?
There was no comment for that. Yeah. There was no need for that in there.
What are we talking about? We see science being bought on a daily basis.
Yeah, but he's saying that. No, because you're casting aspersion on all scientists, and I disagree with that.
Okay. Keely had kept his company going for 26 years without ever putting a product on the market.
26 years without putting a freaking product on. How could we
God
not
bless
get
him,
into
huh?
this? Yeah, I know.
God bless the man.
Yeah.
Paying a dividend without putting a product on the market, paying a dividend, or revealing his secrets. This, his one undisputed accomplishment, he never divulged his secrets with anyone so far as we know. One close friend reported that he had once asked Keely, "John, what do you want for an epitaph?" And his answer was, "Keely, the greatest humbug of the 19th century."
Aww.
He wanted to reveal it after his death, right? I was pulling everybody's leg. The term humbug is associated with the American showman Phineas Taylor Barnum, P.T. Barnum, who wrote the book Humbugs of the World and was renowned for hoodwinking the public with fake and hyped wonders. Barnum and Keely never met, but they might have been kindred spirits.
That's mean.
Keely's theories have been cavalierly updated by such folks to harmonize with their New Age philosophy and their shaky
and
their shaky understanding of popularized science. They have translated ether
like quantum physics.
Yeah. They have translated ether to 0-point energy. This is what happens when you get exposed for fraud. You change the language.
Sure, there you go.
Global warming to, climate change.
Climate change.
Yeah, exactly. They have translated ether to 0-point energy or free energy that they claim fills all of space and may be tapped by anyone clever enough to rediscover Keely's secrets. You know what the irony of all this is?
People believe it, even after all of it.
The irony, as I read that sentence,
yeah,
the irony of all this is that may exist.
What may exist?
Energy.
Yeah,
that fills all of space and may be tapped by anyone clever enough to not to rediscover his secrets.
Anything may exist, right? Ghosts may exist.
No, but there is power out there that we could tap into.
If we understood it. And if it could be tapped into.
Right.
It's like there's a power in a volcano. Can you tap into that?
I understand.
Okay.
Some years ago, I had the opportunity to see and examine a model of Keely's hydro vacuum engine as part of the collection of the Franklin Institute in Philadelphia. At that time, it was on loan to a private individual in exchange for a generous gift to the museum.
That always helps.
Unfortunately, the backgrounds at this person's home weren't ideal for photography. This photo was the best I obtained, although the original photo was in 3D. That's his photo.
Where? Oh, that thing?
Yeah. With the... I don't know if that's wallpaper or a hedge behind him.
I don't know. Maybe at a green screen.
End note, though the press classed Keely's claims with perpetual motion, Keely himself never claimed that any of his inventions violated physics laws. Physical laws, I'm sorry. He very clearly couched his claims to be consonant with the speculative science of his day. He exercised the eloquent embellishment of these ideas and coined marvelous scientific-sounding words.
He uses a lot of big words, doesn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
But without, as he's describing someone who's used a lot of big words.
I know.
But without ever carefully defining them. He was so good at this that his followers today can point to obscure things that Keely said and ingeniously interpret them as anticipating modern atomic theory.
Yes,
which is basically what I did a couple paragraphs ago.
Exactly.
Present-day seekers likewise avoid the term perpetual motion. To account for the energy they hope to produce, they invent mysterious forms of energy, quote, all around us that have never been discovered and have no effect on most matter and have no
like you.
solid foundation and well-established and well-tested science. Okay, I'm not going to...
But you can pontificate.
no sense going on here.
Fine. We're done.
No. I mean, there's no sense going on with
Your theory.
There is
You may pontificate. This is a free-wheeling show.
There is energy out there that we have not tapped into.
Yeah. Right.
But this author seems to be going to the extremes the other way, thinking that if we haven't discovered it yet or how to deal with it, it doesn't exist.
So that's your interpretation of it.
That's my interpretation of what he's saying. Yes.
Yeah.
They hold
Well-established, well-tested science. So we're talking basically about what has been established and tested.
That reads to me as we have all the answers. And we clearly don't have all the answers.
All right. Then if that's, I don't get that from him, but that's fine. If that's what he's saying, then I disagree with it.
It's settled science, Ron.
We all always advance and we're always learning things, and we know that. And you know it, and I know it from our lives alone.
Yes.
I mean, what we've seen from the rotary phone to black and white television to where we are now.
Sure.
You know,
and things that we assumed were true in the past that we found out weren't true.
Yeah. Not, all advancements aren't really good,
No.
Yeah. Just think,
true.
Think about bottled water. What we did with that freaking thing.
Yep.
Right. That's probably one of the worst inventions they ever made. Bottled water.
Yeah.
Somebody came up with actually sell bottled water.
But science
is actually killing our planet. You want to talk about killing our planet?
Yep.
Plastic.
But we have been fed well-tested and well-established science.
Yes.
All our lives.
Yes.
And more often
than not. You sound like a flat earther now.
No.
You sure sound like a flat earther.
And more often
We've learned since the beginning that the world was round and well-established thing, but we just accepted that.
No, I balk at the term well-established and well-tested science.
Balking at it.
Because as soon as we say that, we discover something that disputes it.
It's true.
Right?
Yeah. Science is evolving. Earth is evolving. We are evolving.
Right.
The universe is evolving. Nothing's stagnant.
They hold science as we know it in contempt and see today's science as straitjacket restraining those who seek to discover new scientific principles. These folks devote far more effort to rationalizing their methods, justifying their unproven claims, and inventing new paradigms than they spend producing testable results.
Okay, we're going to let this go because we've been way long time on it.
Okay.
So that was all the end of this was basically a pontification.
Yes.
How come you're this way today? You're not side by side with me.
Oh, you're side by side?
Where'd you go? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I like seeing you. I like to watch your facial reaction. Never looked like I had such beady eyes.
That's how the author, who is the author, by the way?
Donald E. Simek.
Donald seems very defensive.
He's the one who invented baby milk.
I don't think so.
Similac.
Similac.
How do you know?
It's Similac, and I don't think so.
Well, it's similar. Probably changed his name for commercial purposes.
For a guy who so deeply believed that we have figured everything out, he's very defensive. Sounded to me. That whole thing sounded defensive to me.
I don't think it was defensive. I think he pontificated at the end, which was kind of ridiculous.
And by the way, this guy was a con artist. There's no doubt about that. But every scientific theory isn't a con.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But all right, hang on a second. You brought this up, so now it's time to pay the piper.
Oh no, what are we doing now?
Well, hang on. It's not easy for me doing this stupid crap ass computer. All right. Oh, there it is. Hang on. We're getting there.
Yes.
Here we go. All right, so. Ooh. Hey, where are you going? That just jumped right out of me. I can't stand this. Will you stop jumping? All right. So here he is. Donald Simek is an emeritus professor of physics at Lock Haven University in Pennsylvania. His website includes science, pseudoscience, humor, and satire.
Yeah.
So you may be mistaking satire for something serious.
I don't know. The end of that sounded very defensive. He's the Neil
could
deGrasse
be
Tyson of his time.
It could be science. This guy's got some credentials.
He's got some credentials. Neil deGrasse Tyson has some
a little
credentials
bit more
too.
than you. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah,
A little
absolutely.
bit more, just
Yep.
tints. But and me. Anyway.
So what are you saying? We have nothing left to learn? All
No,
well
I
established
agreed
and
with
well
you.
tested.
Didn't I
science?
agree
Yeah.
with you?
Yeah.
I just think you took that way too serious, and you took that too much to heart. He did pontificate at the end, which was a little bit overboard. But I think that was his physics kicking in.
Yeah.
To be in defensive on the physics. Yeah. I agree with you on that. So anyways, so that was kind of cool, huh?
Yeah. I'd never heard of that before. It's surprising a guy could get to that level of notoriety. And
26 years.
It's not a story and it's not a story that comes forward that I hadn't at least heard about in the past.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So you probably, what time is it anyways?
It's 11:52. We got about 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah, we just kind of blew all our commercials and everything else, but whatever.
We've been doing that a lot lately.
Yeah, I noticed. So, anyways, this is from Country Living magazine, which is kind of interesting. You know about Country Living magazine?
I know it exists. Yes.
Yes. And you know about the brown lady of Raynham Hall?
I don't know that. No.
It's probably the most famous ghost photograph in the world. It was back in the I screw up my dates, so I'm not even going to say it. But basically, a photographer and reporter for Country magazine, Count Country is a little bit different, but they sent to do an essay on this estate, Raynham Hall, and when they did, they captured a picture of a ghost, and that was published in the paper. So they weren't looking for ghosts, but they did get this picture. But anyways, Country Living magazine.
I'm trying to find a good example of the picture, by the way.
Of
the brown lady at Raynham Hall.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of them.
Yeah, but getting it to show here.
There it is. That's a classic, absolutely classic.
Okay, yeah, I can't get it to show much more prominently.
Don't worry about it. It's no big deal.
Okay.
People have seen it. Anybody who watches the show, I'm sure, have seen it. It's like the classic.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Faces and the Waves. That's another one. Yeah.
There was a good photo of that came up. Faces in the Waves.
Yeah, that's an awesome photo.
It was a great photo that showed up on my timeline.
Did it?
This week, yeah.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Real
story.
powerful wave with a real. Yeah, I mean, obviously, as soon as you're told it's there's a face in the wave, or you can anthropomorphize.
No. I'm talking about the original Face in the Waves, the photograph of it.
Oh no, I don't know that one either.
Oh, am I going to go into this?
No,
we only got 10 minutes. We'll do the Face in the Wave thing because it's in one of my books. I'm sure, but Face in the Wave, and basically it was an oil tanker going through the Caribbean, right? And three men were two or three, whatever, were cleaning the tanks, and they were overcome by the fumes and killed.
Mm-hmm.
So they given a burial at sea, and the next day, the watch, they saw their faces in the waves.
Oh my God.
And that happened like 2 or 3 days. I forget. The captain took his camera, a Browning camera, I believe it was, and went out and took a picture of them. And he put it away. And then they went into New Orleans afterwards. And he put it in the safe, and they gave it to the company. And you can look it up on the thing. It's Faces in the Waves. Did you find it?
Yeah, I can't find the picture though.
Well, you want to give the synopsis a little bit better than I do because I rely on.
No, I can't find the picture. I'm looking for a photo of it.
All right. So, anyways, yeah, they had it developed by Pinkerton's insurance thing, and the waste is there. It's a famous picture. One of those famous ones.
And it's called Faces in the Wave.
I bet you've put in Faces in the Waves.
Here we go. I think I got it.
Faces in the Water. Probably better.
Yeah, I think I got it. It's that picture on the right there.
You got it? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Seaman John Coney died in a freak accident aboard the S. Watertown. Yep. In 1924, the next day, through the remainder of the trip, the crewmen were in uproar over seeing both men's faces in the waves following the ship. And it wasn't until there are reports that they kept showing up. It wasn't until they broke up the crew and put them on different ships that they actually there's many photographs of it. famous one. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
The crewmen were in upper of the land. The photo was taken, not even developed until the camera was taken to the city services artist, and I believe it was Pinkerton or Brinkley that developed it. Some place there like that. But it's famous. Wicked famous. Yeah. Another one of those pictures that haven't been disproven.
Disproven?
Yeah, disproven.
How would you?
Any photograph? What do you mean? We're talking cameras back then. Film.
I understand. But
film.
The whole faceless thing we're wired to.
It was the faces of the men.
I know, but
of the men. Different.
Well, yes.
It's one thing seeing something, and two of them, not one.
Yep.
Dos.
Yep. I don't know. Do we have pictures of the men? But and how close these look?
Trust me on this one. It's
them.
It's pretty much, yeah. This is pretty much. You talk to Steve about it. He'll tell you the same thing. It's one of those photographs that we have not been able to disprove. I mean, there are people who have theories about it, but that's another story. It's not been disproven. The lady in Ratham Hall has not been disputed. Coddling fairies, that's another story for another time.
Coddling fairies?
Yes.
Another picture?
Yeah. It's
the
daughters that took pictures of fairies.
I've seen those, yeah.
That was a good movie, by the way, too.
Coddling fairies?
Yeah.
Okay.
Arthur Conan Doyle was really involved in it and everything else. We just about screwed this up.
No, okay. We got a few minutes. We started late, remember?
I know, but
there's no need to rush run.
I'll do the quickie.
We're not on a clock. This isn't AM radio.
Could be. If we switch over to Toji, we'll have to do it.
Yeah, when we switch over to Toji, yes.
Hour in and out. Anyways,
we're gonna have to hit clocks at that point.
Yeah, that'll be different.
That'll be a problem.
That'll be a big problem. So 72 years ago, when was this done before? Let's see if I have a date on this stupid thing so I can help give you a... so it's 2017. So what's that, 4 years ago?
Just about, yeah.
July 21.
Depending on the date.
Okay, so instead of 62 years ago, it'd be 66 years ago. A family living in the outskirts of a town made headlines after they were claimed they were being visited by little gray men after spotting an unworldly aircraft floating over their farmhouse.
Where are we?
The incident, called the Kelly Hopkinville encounter, referring to a nearby unincorporated community of the Kelly, as well as documented in Spielberg's E.T. and Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Third kind.
Yeah, with that too. Basically, this family, let me give you the short version of it. I'm not going to read all this because we do have running out of time. They heard this noise outside. They went out to investigate. They saw these little men. I saw a little man basically floating over the ground with big red eyes. They ran back to the house to protect their family. They went inside the thing. They found out there was now maybe 3, possibly 4 of them. They took guns out. They started firing at them. They shot a ton of shots.
This is America, damn it.
They shot them down. They would get up and come again. So eventually they closed off everything and they waited for them. They could hear them on the roof and everything else. And then eventually they went away. They reported to the police. The police came. They interviewed each of the people in the house separately. And the artist drew these pictures of them that are on there. Mm-hmm. And this is all independent. And there were also reports that night by other neighbors and police as well of strange phenomena in the sky they couldn't describe. So this is an interesting phenomena because you have independent witnesses. People from the same house reported basically the same thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, when you get multiple witnesses and it's corroborating, I always find that compelling. I like that.
What was it saying about it on there? I can't read it. It's a little bit too small for me. Anything curious? Because I know I would have read more on this, but
Clarksville, Tennessee, August 24th, 1955, drawn by PFC Gary Hodgson from witnesses' descriptions, probably tailors only. Many details questionable, especially the bent knees. These drawings also said to have been shown on WLAC TV in Nashville, Tennessee. And that's the one on the top left and top right.
Yeah.
These are other incidents: Evansville, Indiana.
Oh, okay.
And Madisonville, Kentucky. But they seem to be similar, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There's some similarities.
That was the purpose of it. Yeah.
Yeah. The little men, as pictured in nearby newspapers. Where do you sit on the UFO thing?
I don't.
You don't?
No.
What? You don't want to draw a conclusion, or?
I really don't have an opinion on it, to be honest with you.
How can you not have an opinion? You get into this because you want to find out.
I know that there are some aspects that I believe could happen, but there are also aspects that are, to me, logically doesn't make sense. So,
yeah.
I mean, UFOs get blamed for everything. And first of all, we don't know. Well, I see, that's the thing now. Now you believe it's people from outer space and everything, from distant planets. And I don't know. I know that space travel is for them to come to from the nearest star is extremely improbable at this time. Let's put it that way.
Well, most people cite the law of large numbers.
Now, here we go.
Well, if you get enough planets, and if you get enough,
I'm not saying there's not life on other planets. Don't get me wrong in that. I'm just saying that they ain't coming here.
No,
and if they were here, why are they mutilating cows and doing crown
just
circles?
About to support your opinion. If you give me half a second, I wasn't disputing. I was going to support it.
Whatever.
They cite the law of large numbers one way, that if you given enough planets, there's going to be an evolved civilization that would be in space travel, right? Yeah. Makes sense.
Even the Catholic Church says that's possible.
Right. Yeah. So with this large number of planets, what are the odds that civilization that decides it can space travel and go trans-galaxy or interstellar?
Think about the number of planets, too. Define our stupid little backwater.
Exactly. Yeah. So the law of large numbers, while it supports the fact that there might be intelligent life out there, intelligent enough to do interstellar travel, right, it also tells you that the odds of them hitting us.
And they go all this way to find this place and say, okay, let's see, I don't probe them. What the frig? Mutilate their cows.
Or land in Kentucky.
Yeah. Or mutilate their cows.
Yeah.
Ain't we got something better to do?
Yeah.
I mean, abduction, I could see. I mean, that would make sense. Yeah. Okay. You take somebody. Okay. I understand that. You know, I don't know. I mean, I just, like I said, I really don't have an opinion on it. Some of it makes, possible sense. There's tons of eyewitnesses and everything else. Is yada, yada, yada. There's lots of UFOs, unexplained phenomena in the sky that we don't know about.
Right. There are sightings like this that you find kind of interesting and compelling.
So there's lots of things, but how do we make the jump from the space vehicles to, these creatures? These creatures could be just creatures, cryptozoology could be anything really that we don't understand.
Yeah.
Dimensional beings that cross over, if you believe in dimensions, is the whole thing. I mean,
it's quantum physics.
Yeah, I know. Just whatever. I mean, it's so bad. There's so many variables that it's just, that's why I don't have an opinion of it. I find it interesting, but yeah, that's it.
Do you believe that alien life has at times skipped us a couple spots on the evolutionary scale, either by interbreeding or by adding technology?
Interbreeding.
Well, it's a popular theory. We're hybrids of alien DNA and Earth evolved.
Also, DNA. Lizard people run our country too. I mean, run our world as well.
Yeah, cat people from Lyra.
Forget it. Got enough problem with ghosts.
No, but you read Chariots of the Gods. How about technological advances? Have humankind been advanced by alien technology at times? Is it now? Is that what Area 51 is all about?
No, we already know what that is about. Yeah. At least we should know. If we don't, then
I'm highly skeptical.
Whatever happened to Storm Area 54? Never made it, huh? Just became a big party.
Area 51? No, some people showed up.
Area 51. Yeah, it became a party. They didn't even try.
I know, right? But we all knew that
Typical, we have a party.
we all knew that
Let's
was
do
going
a
to happen,
gender
right?
reveal party of the alien.
See, I'd have tuned into that before I tuned into the Super Bowl. I would have liked television coverage of that. People
That
just
would've
showing
been
up to
good.
Storm Area
So nobody
51.
did it though. That was, whatever.
The people who are going to get sucked into Storm Area 51 weren't the type of people who are going to get off that couch and go to Nevada and
I
actually
don't know, you
storm
probably
Area
could get all the
51.
flat earthers. Then you'd be all right.
Then all you have is a Burning Man in Nevada. That's
Basically what it is. Yeah.
Basically what it is. Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. I'm skeptical. I don't believe. I mean, human civilizations evolved at different rates. In other words, while the Mayans and the Greeks had, conquered astronomy and, had certain concepts in
They're a lot
mind.
smarter than we give
Right.
them credit for. By the way.
Exactly. But at the same time, hundreds, thousands of years later, you have Native Americans who didn't have the wheel. When we showed up here, Native Americans didn't have the wheel.
I know.
So it just shows you that civilizations can evolve in different paces, especially in the old
And
world.
they also can involve synchronistically as well.
Yeah.
Is that the word I'm looking for?
Yeah.
They can evolve. In other words, two people can come up with the same invention, but not be even close to each other. They could be in different parts of the world, but come up with the same invention.
I'm doing this podcast about the Gita, which talks about
Ghetto?
scripture.
The ghetto?
The Gita,
Gita.
which talks about scriptures.
Is that like
From-
Greek pastry?
No, it talks about scriptures from thousands of years before Christ, 6,000 years before Christ.
Yeah.
And they speak about the center of the galaxy.
Yeah.
So they had the concept that we existed in the galaxy, we were spinning around the galaxy, and there was a center to it.
Yeah.
And the galaxy is not something that you can see. You could see a lot of astronomy.
This is only one of many galaxies, by the way. It shows you
I
how
understand.
big the freaking universe is, right?
But you could see how the Greeks and the Egyptians could come up with astronomy because that's largely observable. You would see movement. You could see movement of planets. You could identify constellations and stuff like that and make some observations. No one can observe the center of the galaxy. To come up with the concept of the center of the galaxy, I mean, it's just fascinating that I think
aren't we doing that now with quantum physics and all that other crap? We've never been there. We've never been on anything else, but we can.
No, I was backing up your point that we underestimate human knowledge from thousands of years ago.
Oh, we do. I mean, that's my biggest problem about ancient alien thing is just ridiculous. I mean,
we couldn't have had that without aliens. Well,
that's
you know
not
what?
True.
People were pretty smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that we do not. I mean, if there's a problem, there's someone out there trying to solve it. How do I move this stupid big rock out of my doorway?
Yeah.
So they come up with something,
Or astronomy. It was survival.
We figure things out, and we're very smart. The humans are, and not we're not necessarily book learning, but maybe not anymore. Common sense learning. We figure things out. We use our head. We solve problems.
Astronomy is survival. They needed to know when to plant crops and when to harvest crops and when things were going to happen, and they need to understand the yearly cycle. So. This is stuff they had to figure it out.
Yeah, but they did a lot of things. They learned about fertilizer. I mean, it was not like, okay, well, let's put dead fish in there. It works. But someone did it. Same with go all the way back to time. Fire burns. Yeah, it does. How did we learn that? I don't know.
They learned about fertilizer the same way we did as kids, where we were looking in the backyard and the grass was greener over the septic system. Right? They caught fish and they threw it in a pile away from the.
You're assuming
away from the
this
camp.
is all theoretical.
This is all assuming.
You don't have any reports of this written anywhere, do you?
No, but I've been human for 60 plus years.
Really?
I understand how
you
humans
sure?
work.
You're not alien?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So they took the fish and they threw them in a pile away from the campsite, and in the pile away from the campsite, stuff grew. And they said, "Hey, wait a second."
That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and same.
And I'm not diminishing their intelligence. Just the fact that you observed that they were very intelligent people. They had a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, we find devices. What is that? Oh, the
By the way,
academic mechanism there that they found, which is supposed to be an ancient computer they found from Greek times.
Yeah.
But the Greeks were awesome as far as figuring things out. They used to do these stage productions, right? Because they were big into plays and drama and stuff. All the Greek plays and everything. And they would have, and the Egyptians too, by the way. They would make platforms rise up, and they had special effects back then. Honestly,
hydraulics.
Yeah, they did. They were into that stuff. They figured it out, and they had a need, They used their intelligence and they solved it, which is what we do. Look at the Earth flight, the moon flights,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
We had shit.
Incredible technology.
No technology really compared to nowadays.
In its context,
The
it was
old
incredible
thing
technology.
again. There's more computer on my watch than there is in all the computers that they had for a thing. But they had guys sitting there, and you look at the rooms. There's always like 100 engineers, and that's what they were. Most of them were engineers, and they're sitting there with slide rules and calculators and think. Well, actually, calculators. Do you remember calculators come out? How expensive they were?
Yep.
It was ridiculous. Texas Instrument and all of them had those big ass.
I keep thinking about Apollo 13, and you know, in the movie they talk about the reentry, and they had to calculate the exact reentry angle and do it from 120,000 miles away or 200,000 miles away, and these guys had to fire rockets for particular seconds to re-aim it, and there's no.
Is that the one with Tom Hanks?
Yeah,
that was a good one. I mean, we duct tape.
Yep.
You know. That's who we are. We are problem solvers. We use our intelligence.
These guys flew to the moon on less than Commodore 64s.
I know
it's just astounding.
I was part of that, by the way.
It's just astounding.
Except Apollo 13, I take no credit for that. It wasn't me. It was the other guy.
It was the other guy.
Anyway, so we do have to go, I assume.
Yep.
Yeah.
Time to go.
Anyways, Lou, thanks for hanging around with me today. And
always fun. That was an interesting story.
Yeah, we didn't get to the aliens too much, but that's all right.
I didn't mean to upset
I really was
physicist, but
no, I like don't cast aversions on scientists. They're hardworking people. Scientists are people too. Remember that.
That's right.
Yeah. Anyways, we want to thank everyone for listening today. We want to wish everyone happy Valentine's Day next week, right? Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Is it Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday, I think, but I'm not sure.
14th, whenever that is.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's Sunday. Yeah. So just remember, you're always my Valentine. So there you go.
Thank you.
If you don't have anybody that's close to you, don't worry about it. You're my Valentine.
I do. That's
and
the
I love
problem.
you all.
I have to buy for her, so I got to figure out what I'm going to get for her.
I get Jan. She's easy.
Is she?
Yeah, liquor is quicker.
It's good. I like
What is it? Liquor is quicker, but sex won't rot your teeth. Isn't that it? No, candy is dandy, but sex won't rot its teeth. There it is.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, liquor is quicker is another one. So I once again mixed my metaphors as I always do. So good night, everyone. God bless, and see you next week.
From goalies to ghosties, long-leggedy beasties, and things that go bump in the night. Deliver us, good Lord.